Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Connie Miller with DeWitt Savings Bank. Connie, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks,
Good.
Seth.
Yeah, good to hear. Thanks for coming out and talking with us as always. Good to have you in studio. And I know it's kind of an odd time of year to maybe talk about this because the scholarship pursuing and college decision-making process has largely wrapped up, but I don't think it ever hurts to just, maybe there's parents of seniors that are going to be seniors this year. And so that process will soon begin. And you start to think about, where's my kid going to go? How much is it going to cost? We've saved for college, but maybe not enough in this time and age. So I guess, what do we need to know about, saving for college, picking a college, all those things? Where does this conversation start?
So I would say we start too late. A lot of us, it's senior year coming up and we're like, oh my gosh, where's my kid going to go to school? I haven't saved a penny. We don't make a lot of money. The government's going to pay for it all. Just all these assumptions. And I would recommend, first of all, start early and talk about this often with your kids. It's not fair that your kids find out their senior year that mom and dad haven't saved any money, or you go to visit a college and find out, oh man, we can't afford this dream college. So start early. There's tons of information online. Sort of narrow the career choices. Just to give you an example, when my oldest was a freshman in high school, even 8th grade going into freshman year, we started talking about that. Like, this is what we can afford. This is what you'd be responsible for, because we didn't want it to be a shock. Now with him, we also had him try some career camps, things like the Vault offers career camps, get an idea what you're interested in. He went to an engineering camp at Bradley and decided he thought he wanted to do engineering. So that gave us an idea of what fields to look at, with schools to research over the next few years. Also, when you're doing that, look for schools that maybe they offer scholarships. A lot of kids say, oh, I want to go to this great out-of-state school, and it's literally double what your in-state school is. As a parent, you can say no. You can say that's not financially wise. That's not good for you. If you want to go there, you're going to have to pay for it. Those kind of things, and make realistic decisions based on what your budget is, what you're willing to pay, and what they can afford. Most parents can't afford a full ride at a college. In fact, I'd say probably less than 1% of parents actually pay all of their kids' tuition without debt. So, and there's nothing wrong with a kid going to school and working while they're in college, paying part of their school. There's nothing wrong with that. It makes them stronger, helps them get more experience in the areas that they might want to work in, get an internship to pay for some of their school. Also, look at careers that are in demand. There's so many things are changing so quickly now. We have AI, it's taking away programmer jobs. Pick a career that's going to be around, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a college degree. We have Bloomington Career Academy here nearby, and they offer all kinds of careers now. They even have like EMT, they have fire science, they have becoming a police officer, welding, so many different kinds of careers that you could try out while you're still in high school. But I will warn people that sometimes when your kids do go to Bloomington Career Academy, that takes away some of their times that they might take a gen ed or something that they need to go to college with. So if like, let's say your child goes the first year and decides, hairdressing is not for me, maybe sticking in it next year is not a great idea, and have them take some general classes that will help them go to college if that's what they decide to do.
Sure. Yeah. Along the career lines, I mean, the trades are just incredibly in demand, and gosh, there's kids that are making, there's 20, 21-year-old kids making money hand over fist. I mean, they've got nicer cars than their parents parents ever had, you know, and all they did was went to school for 18, 24 months, you know?
Exactly. And it's so in demand. You're right. They're like plumbers, electricians, construction, all of those areas, police officers, corrections officers, they're all needed. And a lot of young people are drawn to those jobs nowadays because they don't want to sit still in an office and just sit behind a computer.
You're working with your hands. You've got a task to accomplish. Yeah, there's fulfillment in it.
Yeah, and you're right. They're making a lot of money, and you'll see. I in my neighborhood, the last 3 homes that were sold have been purchased by someone in their 20s.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
one girl, a mammographer. She was able to buy her own home, very expensive home, and other 2 as well, plumber, HVAC person.
I had a friend in, and I interviewed her for the show a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now, I guess. But anyways, was telling me that her son recently finished, I think welding school is what it was, and then went to work at actually a factory in Clinton, believe it or not, and said that he's made so much money. He bought a brand new, like, full size truck with cash, you know. It's like they just, kids don't know what to do with that kind of money. You know what I mean?
We'll have to have a section on that.
Yes. Kids, kids that do the trades manage their money and put it away. But I mean, it just speaks to the opportunity that's out there. Like, you don't need that 4-year degree. You don't need to go into debt over school. You know, there's opportunities. Opportunities are endless, really.
Well, and also, when you're picking, if you decide that you do want to go to college, and a lot of parents sort of push kids into going to college because that's what they were told when they were younger. And there are certain careers that do require a degree, like a nurse or a doctor or a school teacher,
lawyer, all those things.
Yes, you need to go to college, but you don't have to go into debt to do that. And there's ways to, like, if you want to be a teacher, there's a lot of scholarships. There's a TEACH program. There's the Golden Apple program. ISU offers special ed full ride scholarships for people because they're so in demand. So there are ways to go to school for cheap or close to free, and not go into debt, because the worst thing to do is you graduate from school, you're all excited, you get your big boy, big girl apartment, you're starting your job. 6 months later, you have to start paying your student loans. And that's not fun.
Yep. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, our guest in studio today. Do you want to go there next, talking about paying loans and that sort of thing?
Yeah,
let's go there next. What do we need to know about, like, once you're out of school, whether it falls on the parents, whether it falls on the kids, like, how do you, what do you?
Well, one thing I would like to caution, because I have every single year that I've worked here in Clinton, I have a parent calling me in August freaking out because their kid's at school and they just found out they don't qualify for a Parent Plus loan. And it usually will be like poor credit, or their income, debt to income is too high and they can't get the loan. And that's a horrible feeling. So do the research before you decide to do that. Your kid does not have to have the quintessential college experience. They need it. It's an education, you know, and they're going to get experience even if they live at home, go to school online. They will live, you know. And also, that's jeopardizing your future when you do Parent Plus loans. I work with people all the time who are in their 60s and 70s and they still have student loans for their kids, or their kids promised to pay it back and they never did. So be careful when you do that. Now, because your kid is not going to get 100% financing.
Very rare that happens.
There's limits, like about $5,500. It hasn't really gone up per year for federal student loans, and they can get private student loans as well, but those are higher interest rates. So be very careful when you're deciding how you're going to pay for school, and figure out a plan. I hear all the time, well, we got freshman year covered, we don't know about the rest. Well, you know what? That really stinks when you go to 1 year of school and you can't finish, and you have to start paying back your student loans. So be very careful with that as well. But the student loans right now, you hear about public service loan forgiveness and all that. I have met 2 people ever who've actually been able to get their public student loan forgiveness pushed through and gotten their loans forgiven.
Really? Wow.
It's really hard. You have to recertify every year. And show that you have the service time for that. But we have this new One Big Beautiful Bill Act, I think it's called, and they changed some of the rules on how to repay the loans.
Okay. So what do we need to know there?
Well, one thing that's sort of good, if you decide to do automatic payment out of your account, they'll lower the interest rate by 1%.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if this will continue after 2028 when
new administration
Trump's
comes
out
in.
of office. But right now, you get a 1% discount. So it would behoove you to take it. But also, they have 2 programs now that you can go into if you start getting your money dispersed after July 1st of 2026. If you take any disbursements, it's the Repayment Assistance Plan. It's RAP, and that's based on income. And there's a whole schedule, and you can see how much. But I'll tell you, I saw some of the numbers. It's based on like your adjusted gross income, and as it goes up, your payment goes up. They let you take $50 off per month. Of your payment for every dependent you have, but I believe the minimum payment amount is $10 per month.
Okay.
But that's if you earn $0 to $10,000 per year.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
But if you're over $100,000, you're talking $850 a month monthly payment. It's a lot.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we also have the other one is called the Tiered Standard Plan, and that's like based on your income and then how many years you want to take to pay it back.
Okay.
Like always, the sooner you pay it back, the better off you are.
Right.
The RAP plan also, if you pay every month like you're supposed to, if your payment is less than the accrued interest, they'll forgive the rest of the interest. So you never lose principal. But right now there's a little caveat, and I think they're still working on it. This is all new and they're still adjusting things. But if you make an extra payment or pay more on your loan and you do have extra accrued interest, it goes to that.
Okay.
So be careful on that. I hate to say it, but it's almost like you don't want to make an extra payment if you're on the RAP plan.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Sure.
But but I will say this, regardless of what plan you go into, there are teacher forgiveness programs too,
Yeah.
Pay it off as quickly as you can. You don't want that boat anchor on you.
Right. Yeah.
Before we got on the air, we talked about a lady I met with, and she owed about $20,000. It was her balance when she left school. She's been out of school almost 17 years, and she's paid over $30,000 in interest on those loans.
Wow. More than the loan itself. Man.
Yeah. Really, if you can spend that summer after you graduate and just start throwing cash, live at home if you can, or get some roommates, just pay off those loans because it's like handcuffs as you go into the rest of your life. And let's say you get married, your spouse both have huge student loan payments. That just kills you.
Yeah. It's a burden right off the bat. Yeah, it really is. Yep. Sure is. Connie, on that note, anything else on college, paying for college we didn't talk about?
One thing that I've been seeing a lot of lately is online college. There's a couple of them. I think one is called Governor State around here, where you pay a fee and you can take as many classes as you want during a certain time period. So I've met several people who've done that, and they've been able to graduate in a year and a half.
Oh, really? Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So that's an option. There's businesses that will pay for you to go to college. I've met several people who worked at Walmart, and Chick-fil-A is famous for it, paying for your school.
Oh, wow.
No debt.
Really?
Graduate and go on to
find one of those opportunities if you can. Yeah.
And a lot of people here in this area qualify to go to Richland, and they do have a program there too. If you get good grades, I believe you have to have a B or higher in all of your classes, and there's scholarship, but you have to ask. It's sort of, they don't like put it real big anywhere on their website, so you have to ask about it.
All right, very good. Well, plenty of ways, like Connie was talking about there. Connie, if folks want to talk with you maybe about financial planning for college, how do they get a hold of you?
I'm at DeWitt Savings Bank, and my number is 217-935-7739, and I'd be happy to help them work out a plan.
Very good. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, our guest in studio today. More to come with Connie on the WHOW Morning Show.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all slightly lower at this hour. September corn down 2.5, 435 and 3/4. December corn down 2, 455 and 3/4. March corn 470.5, down 2 pennies. August beans down 5.5, 1178.5. September beans down 5 1/4, 1175 and 3/4. November beans 1187 and 3/4, down 4.5. September Chicago wheat 612 and 3/4, down 1 1/4. December KC wheat down 5.5, 658 and 3/4. August bean meal down $1.70, 311.20. August bean oil 68.28, up 52 cents. Livestock trade, August feeders down 12 cents, 360.37. August live cattle down $1.15, 237.95. July lean hogs 93.07, down 27 cents. Energy market September Brent crude oil up $1.76, 73.75.
Looking for the perfect summer night? Head to Decatur and cheer on the Decatur Beanballers. Experience exciting summer collegiate baseball, affordable family fun, great promotions, and an unforgettable atmosphere at the ballpark. Get your tickets and schedule at beanballers.com and catch Decatur Beanballers highlights all summer long on IL Sportswire.
Our local hospitals are the heartbeat of our communities, delivering critical care every hour of every day for everyone, training the next generation of caregivers. Beyond the walls, their benefit to the community is everywhere, driving the local economy and supporting local organizations, initiatives, and neighbors. Illinois Hospitals, healing communities. Learn more at team-iha.org. Sponsored by the Illinois Health and Hospital Association. Aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio, Connie Miller with DeWitt Savings Bank. Connie, let's wrap up the conversation. Credit scores. I guess, what do you have for us here? What's going on with credit scores?
Yeah, as we were talking about before, Parent Plus loans and private loans, a lot of times they do look at your credit score. But also, it's that time of year where people are moving, they're buying new homes, things like that. So this is top of mind right now. And a lot of people ask, how do I improve my credit score? Do I really need a credit score? Well, yes, you sort of do need a credit score for a lot of things. They look at your credit, and your credit score sometimes when you get employed, like when you're looking for a job, down payment on for a house or for utility bills, things like that, car, any of that. So, but the biggest issue is people always ask, well, how do I increase my score? They might look at their Credit Karma score, which is only 2 of the 3 big credit bureaus that report to that. And it's always like a little behind of what your actual credit score may be if you go to a bank or a credit union to get a loan.
Okay.
So be prepared. And then each kind of loan might have a different score, they choose a different type of score. But basically, if you pay your bills on time, that's 35% of the credit score.
Right. Yeah.
So pay it on time. You might want to, I have it set so it automatically, my credit card is automatically paid every month. The balance is just paid. And then also, it's also the things that also matter are like how much is owed on your credit card. So they look at your total available credit. And if you have, let's say you have a credit card and you want to limit how much credit you have and you just have $1,000 limit, if you go above 30% of the available credits, that's $300 balance, then your credit score may go down a little bit.
Okay.
If it's under that 30%, it will stay higher.
Okay.
And this is about 30% of your credit score. So
Right.
we just talked about over half of our credit score, right?
And isn't do I remember this right? That paying your utilities on time, like electric and water, that's part of your credits?
It's not part of your
okay.
credit
I'm sorry. I
score.
thought it was. Okay. Sorry.
But I know people who put their their utility bill on a credit card, like auto pay, or not utility, like their phone bill, like
Mhm.
their cell phone bill, or maybe their internet or
Mhm.
something like that they'll put on there.
Got
And
it.
that's all they use it for.
Mm.
But something to remember, I will have young people say, "Oh, I have a $500 credit limit and I'm really careful. I pay it off every month, and I don't use a lot of that credit." Well, if you're using more than $166 per month, you're over 30%.
Mm.
So either raise your credit limit or be really careful. And sometimes like your bill comes out, you have the 166 that you spent, and then you put more on that credit card. So you're over the 30%. So just be careful with that.
Sure.
But along with that then is your length of credit history. So that is, was that 15% is length of credit history, how long you've had your credit card. So if like, let's say you just graduated from college, you've had your credit card 6 months. I've had mine for 30 years. Mine, and I've been paying it off. That's a better predictor of financial stability, isn't it? Than someone's had it for 6 months. So I always tell people to be wary though, if they're paying off debt and they have a credit card that they paid off and they just go close it, did they just slash their length of credit history if they close that card? So sometimes they'll say, just leave it open. Pay it off, leave it open. They'll eventually close it because you're not using it. And especially if you're looking to buy a house and you need a good credit score, I would recommend not closing it unless you're tempted to use it again.
Sure. Yeah, right. You don't
Yeah.
want to rack up more debt on that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then types of credit in use, like if you have all credit card debt, that's more of a red flag than I have a car loan and a mortgage. So they look at what your mix of credit you have.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Sure.
And then
I've got 1 minute. So
okay, yeah. And the last one is new credit. If you're getting a lot of new credit cards, it's a red flag for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like maybe you think, "Oh, I'm going to lose my job," or they say that if someone gets a lot of credit cards, they're usually going into business for themselves, and that they know that's a red flag for that.
Oh,
Which I found really interesting. I just read an article about
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Connie, very quickly, how do folks get a hold of you at DeWitt Savings Bank about all this?
Yes, you can call me at the bank. My personal line is 217-935-7739, and I'm happy to talk to you about improving your credit score.
Okay.
Any questions you have about finance.
Very good. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, my guest. Network news on the way.
The Big 1520 WH.